Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to the Cobra Command Central toy review. And today's toy we'll be looking at the 2010 release by Hasbro of the Marvel Universe action figures review. And today's action figures review we're looking at the Marvel Masterwork Series number 1 featuring Galactus and Silver Surfer. Now I got this straight from a local toy shop near my work area for 229 ringgit and 90 cents. Yes, that's the retail price. Originally, Galactus figure was released in the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but only featuring Galactus figure we have the Silver Surfer, and the packaging is way more huge. And it doesn't come with a fold-out piece like this, so basically it's a box packaging. But inside of it, Galactus is also packaged in a carded form as well. Very interesting. Now, in the front part of the packaging, you'll notice there's a really nice artwork of Galactus and the Silver Surfer, but this is just only one half. There's a full artwork behind the fold out card here, which is very nice. Bottom section here is stated it needs 3 AAA batteries. Yes, this figure actually sprouts out phrases, 11 phrases to be exact, and comes out with the lighting on the eyes and, well, the balls on the helmet itself. Very, very nice. You'll also notice that by now the camera is all the way at the back because this is a really huge packaging, and the figure is utterly humongous. By revealing the inside of the box itself, you notice that the figure is utterly humongous. You got a try me button there, and yes, you can press it and it sprouted out as the lights also will light up as well. Next to, well, Galactus' head is the chrome paint job of the Silver Surfer. Now this Silver Surfer is utterly great, but we'll see about that once we open everything out and review the figure. Now at the back there's a humongous top secret file card there, very humongous. Now I'm gonna flip this one side to show everyone the gorgeous artwork. As you can see, this is the artwork itself, utterly gorgeous indeed, very nicely done. The box is utterly huge, and at the bottom you get to see Norman Osborn telling you to become an agent of Hammer at FuryFiles.com. You got the Hammer logo now, and the rest of the previous lineup including Colossus, Aim Soldier, Kitty Pryde, Skrull Soldier, Iron Patriot, Marvel's Wrecker. Now on the two sides of the boxes itself is actually featuring the artwork from, well, one side is Galactus, the other side will be Silver Surfer. I do not want to show you guys because basically it's way too big. Now at the back of the packaging, this is utterly, the entire image is utterly overwhelming. You got Galactus surrounded a lot of the rest of the Marvel action figures itself, even the two giant characters like Giant Man, and then there's the Skrull Giant Man. Very utterly awesome. Now ironically enough, the top part section here you got the Silver Surfer, the chrome Silver Surfer, and the bottom here you got the carded Silver Surfer. Very nice, 2 Silver Surfers appearing in one page. Now here is the entire write-up, 3 paragraphs, well, detailing about Galactus here, which I'm not going to read because there's way too many stuff to read there. So without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the toy. Be right back. And we're back after reviewing figures and the rest of the stuff out from packaging. First things first, we'll take a look at the Silver Surfer. Now in the packaging, it comes with the figure and the board. There's no base stand for the Silver Surfer, and there's no character card for him as well. So we'll take a look at the board first. The board is just one solid piece of a plastic board. There's no paint job at all. You notice there's a little bit of details, there's lines there, and 2 pegs for the figure to stand on. Now at the back it's just pure blank plastic, and here you got the 2009 Hasbro made in China trademark. Other than that, it's just pure plastic with no paint job at all. You notice the plastic is also been cut, and it's not done very well, as you can see here. There's some black gray stuff there. It's not really nicely done. So there's this section here. I really wish they actually paint this. It's kind of pity though, even on the sides it's not well cut as well. Should have painted this to cover the, well, the gray cut plastic areas there. We'll take a look at the figure. The figure's paint job is absolutely gorgeous. It's all chrome silver, and the edges of the eyes are painted in black, and the eyes itself is painted in white. This is a way more better paint job than the Silver Surfer in the single carded form or the 3-pack or the comic pack, whichever. And this is a very nicely done paint job, very nicely done. This is what Silver Surfer should look instead of a white and slightly blue and grey paint job that's found in the single carded form. Very nicely done, and no paint smudge. Then again, this whole entire figure is just pure chrome paint job with sort of black edge eyes and white pupils, but still very nicely done. Now the sculpt of the body is nothing new. It's the same old Silver Surfer sculpt, skinny body with 2 open palms on each side of the hand itself, cannot grip anything at all, and it actually befitting for the figure itself because it's that skinny, but nothing new on the sculpt itself. Let's take a look at the figure's articulation. The head actually can pivot a little bit up and down, side to side, and turn 360 degrees. Torso here is a bit loose but can go forward, backwards, all the way back like so, side to side, turn 360 degrees as well. Now the shoulder joints here can turn 360 degrees and raise the arms all the way up like so. Upper bicep here swivel 360 degrees like so, and elbow joint here bend this far, bend a little bit back, wrist joint turn 360 degrees. Now the hip joints is something I really don't like, especially on one side, but first things first, the hip joint can actually move all the way up like so, but you have to twist it on one side because due to the joint. Go back a little bit, go to the sides. Now on the other side of the hip joint is too loose. As you can see, the moment I popped this figure out from packaging, the leg popped off, and no matter how many times I try to pop it back in, it's very loose. So I have to do the hot water trick to try to squeeze this section here a bit more closer so the gaps won't be too big. Now we have double jointed knee that bends this far, ankle joint that goes downward, upward, and that's it. It's a pity that they actually use back the same old sculpt. I really wish they actually do something with the ankle joint here for this old body mode, because there's no swivel ankle joint. So when you try to, or at least there's no ball joint on the ankle itself, because when you're trying to pose the Silver Surfer to stand onto the board itself, he doesn't actually stand all the way. The pegs don't actually peg into the feet very well, and it's a bit loose. There's another problem with the board as well, because the pegs is not long enough or thick enough. So when you want to pose the Silver Surfer, you have to try to fiddle around with it just to make sure that he actually stands properly and not fall. So far it's okay, but I really wish that the hip joint here actually starts that loose. So overall, if I'm going to give a rating on the Silver Surfer, I really love the figure because I really love the chrome paint job. I really don't like the board because it looks rather bland, and I really don't like the cuts on both sides of the board itself that shows the black and grey plastic that's, when you cut it. But the figure looks really great. The paint job looks really great. I really wish they add, or at least fix, the ankle joints down, but otherwise the whole entire figure looks great. So if I'm going to give a rating on this, despite the loose hip joints, I'll say I'll give it a nice 9 out of 10. Yes, a 9 out of 10 for Silver Surfer. Next, we'll take a look at the humongous Galactus. Stay tuned. And we're back, and this time we'll take a look at Galactus. You'll notice the camera is panned all the way to the back because the figure is immensely huge and he stands 19 inches tall. Now, inside the box itself is packaged with an instruction manual on how to change the batteries at the back, and at the back of the instruction manual itself there's a caution label on stating what to do and what not to do with the batteries. So basically, in order to change the batteries, You have to unhook these two straps at the back here, like so. Lift this up, and then you have to unscrew it to remove the panel to change the batteries. Once the batteries has been changed, you can play around with the gimmick, which I'm going to show you guys later. First, I'm going to park him. Next, we'll take a look at the top secret file folder, which is really huge as compared to the size here. Then we have the secret code for you to enter at scriptvideofiles.com, and a piece of paper, which is an email from Quasimodo to Norman Osborn, which Quasimodo found out about Galactus. It's gonna arrive to Earth, and they don't know what Galactus' intentions are, except what Regis mentioned, that he's a devourer of worlds. And Quasimodo actually intend to, well, actually he suggests the idea to Norman Osborn to ally himself with Galactus' dad to gain more power, which is really insane. Next, we have a very gorgeous character card, and you notice the character card is huge compared to the size here. And you have a new artwork, unlike most of the Marvel Universe packaging where the character artwork for the card itself follows the same artwork from the packaging. For Galactus packaging, the box packaging, the artwork is different, as you can see, very nicely done with the artwork. On the other side is the superhuman registration. I'm not too sure how Galactus actually signed up for this. You've got a nice little avatar image of Galactus there, and a thumbprint, which the size of my thumb compared to his thumbprint. I'm not too sure how they managed to get his thumbprint anyway. Real name is Galen, code name Galactus. Hair unknown, eyes unknown. Height 28 feet 9 inch, bracket varies. Weight 18.2 tons, also varies. Sex male. Powers: Galactus possesses cosmic powers on an unimaginable level. He can levitate, restructure molecules, convert matter into energy, project energy with enormous concussive force, and can teleport himself, others, and objects across space, dimensions, and time. Galactus has above class 100 strength level and scientific knowledge and beyond human understanding. At the bottom is stated cosmic force of nature. Very nice. I really like the card. It's really huge. Now let's take a look at Galactus gimmick here. Basically, there's a button here, but the actual button is located behind the chest piece here. The actual button is here. So basically, this is just a peg to reach to the button inside, because this is a separate piece. So when you press the button here, the sounds will come out from, you notice there's slits here on the side of the amps, and also on the back of the hole here. It will sprout out 11 catchphrases. Now, once I press this button, the lights will pop from the eyes and the bulbs from the head itself, and also on the top of the head itself. I'm going to pan the camera a little bit up, like so. Which is, you get your money's worth. Seeing that Galactus here actually sprout out 11 catchphrases, which is really nicely done. So now this is the back portion of the head, and you can see the blue translucent plastic there. So I press the button on the back, and you see the lighting goes on at the back of the head. Very nicely done. Now Galactus here don't come with any accessories, and that's all he has. If you want to count accessory, well, maybe Silver Surfer is. Now, his paint job for the figure is very, very awesome indeed, especially on the head itself. The entire head is actually made of blue translucent plastic, and they actually painted the entire head, which is very nicely done. Yes, this entire head. And the face paint job is very nicely done with all the shades and the shading, and the lips as well being painted on. Really nice use of colors over the flesh tone skin. Very nicely done. And the head is very nicely done as well. Back of the head itself is like that. Now this piece is a separate piece, so does the skirt here, but there's no way you can actually remove it unless you want to unscrew the body parts, which I'm not going to suggest you guys to do it, because seeing that the gimmick of the sound effect comes from the torso itself, and it connects with the lighting effects from to the head. I don't suggest you doing something like that. So yes, this chest piece is a separate piece. Skirt as well, nicely paint job on the, especially on the chest piece and the belt though. You got a nice little metallic blue paint job there, chrome paint job there going on, very nicely done. It stands out very nicely. Now the arms here, the blue parts of the arms is actually the plastic itself, so the sides are painted. And this is the entire plastic itself. The top abs, the entire torso here is actually a pure plastic, but of course this is painted on. Skirts is as well, this is painted on. The wrists, however, I really am a bit disappointed on the gloves and the wrist here, because you got a lot of this really detailed technical stuff going on here, all the wirings and stuff. I really wish they actually do give a bit more detailed paint job on this, but you know, it's still alright because you're paying a lot of money to get this figure, and it is a really big figure. Glove here is painted in dark brown as well, very nicely done. And the legs are actually pure plastic, but the boots here, the boots, majority of boots are not painted, that's pure plastic, but the section, this section here is painted in dark brown, very nicely done. Now the sculpt on the figure is utterly gorgeous, especially on the head sculpt. The face sculpt, the head, very nicely done. The eyes actually show, well, pupils. It's been sculpted on with those very tiny pupils. You can actually see it, especially when you try to press the button to light up. You can actually see he actually has the pupils. All the bulbs are all sculpted, very nicely detailed stuff. Back of the head as well, very nicely done. And I really love the sculpt on the jaws here, the lower jaws here is very nicely done. Arms and legs is also nicely done, especially this section, both sections here, very detailed stuff. And the lower legs, the skirt, everything, very detailed stuff. You got your money worth when you buy this figure. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. Now bear with me if I seem to struggle around with the figure a little bit later on to show you the articulation, but with Galactus here, he stands not only just 19-inch tall, he is also quite heavy, so bear with me on the struggling part. Now he does comes with a neck articulation, which is really great, considering that he has a gimmick that actually lights up the head and then trigger the sound effect that comes from the lower abs and the back there as well. But it won't hinder the neck articulation at not even one bit. So basically you can actually rotate the head 360 degrees as shown like so. It's a bit tight, very nicely done with no hindrance, and can pivot the head up and down like that and go side to side. Very nicely done. No hindrance to the neck articulation at all. He doesn't have a torso articulation, considering that the voice gimmick is situated in the torso, but he does come with a waist articulation that twists 360 degrees like so with no problems. You got your money worth here. Now the arms here, the shoulders can turn 360 degrees like so, and raise the shoulders this far out. Upper bicep here, turn 360 degrees, very nicely done. Now the elbow joint here is double jointed. Yes, double jointed, so you can actually, he doesn't bend that far, despite he has double joint as you can see here, but it doesn't bend really far, so this is as much you can bend. And the wrist joint here, or at least the glove, can swivel 360 degrees. As that's not enough, the wrist here actually is on a ball joint that can rotate 360 degrees, can go up and down like so, or side to side. So very nicely done. It's a pity that he doesn't have any finger articulation, but it's still good because he has a lot of articulation to compensate some of the missing ones like the torso there. Now the hip joint is on a ball joint with a swivel tie, so the leg can actually move forward, but it's hindered by the skirt itself. You can go forward, go back, and then you can actually well, spread the legs a bit far, but also hindered by the skirt itself. Swivel tie that turns 360 degrees. I'm sorry that I have to struggle a little bit. He's actually quite heavy. Double jointed knee that is also super tight on the joint, but can bend really far. Actually, bend this far. He is heavy and my arms are tired. Then the boots here can swivel 360 degrees, but it's a bit loose on one side of the joint itself. As you can see here, it's very loose on this section, on the swivel tie here. Now the ankle can also pivot downwards and upwards. This one is a bit tight. Now this entire figure is utterly awesome, and let's do a size comparison to a normal Marvel Universe figure once I park this figure properly and he doesn't fall back. Now he is 19-inch tall, and this is a 3¼ tall action figure of a Marvel Universe Silver Surfer. You can see here he actually is about similar height if you're not counting the sides of the, well, if you want to call it ears. His head is about as tall as the figure itself. Very huge figure, very nicely done. If I'm gonna give a rating for this Galactus figure, he is actually worth the money. 229 ringgit and 90 cents if not counting the, not subtracting the price for this figure. Let's say this is 39.90. Near 200 ringgit from this figure is really worth it. Worth the price for getting this amount of plastic that you're getting from this figure. The height, the weight, the details, plus the gimmicks as well, worth the price there. So if I'm gonna give a rating on this, he is still not perfect because the joints is a bit loose there. Yes, the tie joints there is a bit loose, but overall this entire thing is immensely gorgeous, and this will be the first time ever I will be rating this as a 10 out of 10, considering that this is a masterwork piece and he is actually worth the price. 10 out of 10 for Galactus here. And this is the end of the review. I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.